Okay, so let's go ahead and see this program. Okay, so basically we have declared the integer, declared the another integer, then doing some value. Now, what is the length of the integer?
It's 10. Length of
Let's see that. So first let's go to the developer console. And let's go to the anonymous window. Integer sum equal to 0. Perfect. Now integer num. Okay. Integer num equal to, if I give up to the 5 digits, it works perfectly fine. It works perfectly fine. Let me copy this. What is the output? Should we get it? 9 plus 4.
$36 now.
Execute. It does not exist. But if I give 9.
No, I think we have to change the number variable to variable
Okay.
A. We changed.
Perfect. It is working. 4 9. What is the total count? 9 plus 4
22.
plus 9, 22. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Whenever we have, ideally when we say integer, max of max, 7 digits or 8 digits, we are going to declare it. But when we have it 10 digits, it does not work. It says that illegal integer.
But it's calculating up till 9 numbers.
Yes, it will
Only
calculate.
the last number is.
Yes, it will calculate. So it doesn't give me this. Long.
There's a L at the last. There's L at the last. So for the long, we have to declare like that.
Illegal assignment from long to integer. From long to integer. I'm taking here integer.
Line 6. It shows in the line 6, ma'am. The error is in the line 6.
So when you say math.mod, so you are getting the number here. Number, what are you doing with the 10 here?
It's dividing the number by 10. So we get one value as the reminder. The last value will be the reminder. So that will be stored into the sum. So sum is 0. So here it will be like 0 plus 4. So sum will be 4. And then the remaining number like 9, from 9 till 3 will be stored in the num. So then by again dividing that, we'll get the remainder.
For example,
So that's
you
how
get
the
this number, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Comma 10 you are giving.
Yeah.
and then you are doing the module. So what is the output? You will get it here. Mod.
We'll get 4. Only the reminder will be the value for the modulus.
Okay. So take out this L from here. Then try it.
Okay.
Okay, so can you try now? So basically integer I equal to, so for example, what is the difference here is integer. When we declare an integer variable data type, basically an integer is a 32-bit number and it does not include the decimal, that we all know. Does not include the decimal.
Yeah.
Integer will have minimum value of minus 2 comma 147 comma 438 comma 648. Maximum is plus of that. So in case if you have a 64-bit number, so whatever this number is there, in case if you have a 64-bit number, then you have to go with long instead of integer.
Okay.
Now here, how you will take out the last number? Now you have this long equal to, long declaration is you have to give the number along with the L you have to give.
Okay.
So how, if you wanted to take out the last special character, how you will do that?
Not sure, ma'am.
In case if you have a special characters, assume that you have a special characters. In case if you have a special characters, how you will take out? Just tell me your thought process. I'm not asking exactly, but tell me your thought process, how you will do it.
I don't know, ma'am. Not sure.
Okay. So in this scenario, let's comment out this. Now this is a long data type. This is a long data type. Instead of this, what I'll do is I'll take a string.
Okay.
Okay. Now can you convert string to integer? I'm just saying it. What are the we have right now scenario? I'll take it as a string. Can we convert the string to integer?
Using the value of function. Using the value of function.
Using the value of function, you can do that. But again, when you do that, again it will be the problem of integer declaration.
Yeah.
Right? Again, it will be the value of integer declaration.
Yeah.
Okay. So how can we implement this? Now, integer is not taking the 10 digits. Long has the special character.
Yeah. Is double same as the long?
Double, yeah, no, double will be different.
Or double for decimal point?
Mhm. But why do we want a decimal point here?
Yeah, yeah. Don't have decimal point here, so no point in using that.
Now let's do one thing, system.debug. Okay. And print the noun. Let's see what is happening here.
No,
I'm
it's
not getting the
printing it.
special characters. Okay, that is good.
Yeah.
Now here, when you say number, okay, you are getting the number. Number
Yeah.
by 10, you are doing it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Number by 10, you are doing it first.
yeah,
Then you are adding to the sum.
yeah. We're adding the reminder to the sum.
Let's go ahead and execute it. Highlighted one.
The output should be 4. Yeah, we are getting.
4.
Yeah.
Now,
I think if we execute the whole program now, I think we'll get it.
I give sum plus. Execute plus equal to semicolon, execute. Illegal assignment from now to integer. That is the problem. Okay. So problem is it is getting the value here, but when it is assigning it from the long to integer, we cannot assign.
Okay, so everything should be in long only.
Yeah, illegal integer assignment where it is.
The 6th line should be removed now. 6th line. Mod function. No, 6th, the next line. Yeah.
Fine, what is the number we are getting? 46.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
9 plus 4 plus 9 plus 4 plus 9. Okay. So that's what we are doing it here.
Yeah, it's right.
So if you have more than 9 digits, take the data type as a long.
Okay. Yeah, this is the output.
Is anybody done with the assignment? How did you do that, this assignment? Puneet, Rahul, Raj, Sadashiv.
Yeah, I'm doing it today, ma'am.
Is anybody done? How did you do this assignment? Did you take any other approach apart from this? Raj, Rahul, Sadashiv. Sadashiv has explained it. Puneet, how did you take the approach? What was the approach that you have taken in order to implement this? completed or not assignment? First question.
Yeah, ma'am,
Sorry.
I will done today.
Okay. How about others? If there are any other approaches, I wanted to know.
No, not done, madam.
Okay. See, these kind of issues you are going to get it. So please try to complete the assignment. When you do the assignment, you will come to know all the different scenarios for implementing it.
Yes, ma'am.
Now back to our classes. What did we complete yesterday? Yesterday we have
Controller.
Sorry,
Controller we have completed.
controller, we have done it. Controller, we have completed it. So in controller, we just took the greater and smaller number. Greater and smaller number that's we have taken with all the by taking the primitive data type. By taking the primitive data type. Today, what we are going to see is similar example, but what I'll do is I'll take a S object. Last class, we have seen how to do it with the primitive data type. Now, today we are going to see how to implement using the S object. Now, what was the class? Do you remember what was the class name that we have implemented?
Yesterday, greater three numbers.
So this is the one which we have implemented. Today I'll take a new class. So the class name is CL underscore 0309 underscore create account. Let's say that I'm going to create an account. Let's assume that this time I'm going to, like whenever we wanted to create an account, what are the things that we needed? We need name is the mandatory. We need name is the mandatory. So on the Visualforce page, we'll say name is required. Name field, phone field, and fax. And then I'm going to ask another one, industry. So these are the field which user has to enter here. Once it is updated, once it is entered in the Visualforce page, then we are going to create an account from the controller. So that is the requirement. So what I'll do is first I'll go to Visualforce page. Let me implement the new Visualforce page. VF underscore 0309 underscore create an account. Create account. So click on it. Okay. Now tell me what do I need to implement here?
Sidebar false.
Sidebar equal to false and
showHeader false.
showHeader. showHeader equal to false. Okay. Next.
And Apex pageBlock.
Apex pageBlock. Okay.
And Apex pageBlockSection. pageBlock.
Apex pageBlock.
Section.
Apex page block section, and then
The Apex output field.
output field. Okay. Before the output field, do I need to enter anything?
Input field.
Sorry. Apex colon page block
Section item. Section item.
section item. Now here, I need this section item for the name.
Phone, fax, industry.
Yeah, multiple times is needed. So for the page block, I'll give the title equal to account, and page block section, I'll give the title equal to create new account. And here inside the Apex page block session item, I'll just take a Apex colon output label. Inside the output label, let's give the value equal to account name. And then we'll give the input text. Apex colon input text. Perfect. So right now I need this for the phone. Account phone number. And next I need account fax. What is the error that I'm getting here? What is the error that? What is the error that I'm getting in the problem? What is this error?
Inside Apex form, we should give inside Apex form.
Why it should be inside the Apex form?
Because we are giving the value, we are entering the data.
Because we are expecting the data from user.
Data. Yeah.
It has to be between the form. Okay. Now, so here we are done with the initializing all the fields. Now next thing is that button. Apex colon
Command button.
command button. Value equal to, let's say, save. Perfect. Now let's save it. Let's preview. We have account name, fax, phone number, industry, and the same. Right? So let me put everything into the column.
Columns equal to 1.
Okay, perfect. So we have a name, phone number, fax, industry. Now next thing is that I need to implement Apex class. Now we have created the Apex class, which is a blank screen. Now what are the values that I need? How many variables do I need it?
4 variables.
4.
4 variables.
And 1 for the result.
Why do we need a result?
Okay, so once we insert it, it will automatically get saved.
So 4 variables, what are the methods that I need to use here in order to capture the values from the Visualforce page and retrieving the values from the Apex?
Set get.
Okay. Public string
String
phone number,
phone number, set get,
Set get.
public
public
string
string,
flag,
set get, and then last one is
public string industry, set get.
perfect. Now, do we have the values here? Now, let's go ahead and set it up into the Visualforce page. First one is NM. First one, what we have to do, we have to enable the connection. How can we enable the connection between the
Controller.
Visualforce?
Controller equal to
Controller equals to controller name. And then where should I give this value?
input next to input text, value as value for the input text.
And how to declare it?
Curly braces and exclamation mark, then name.
Let's do it for the phone. Let's do it for the fax. And the last one which we have is industry. Perfect. Now the next thing is that as soon as I click on a save button, it has to be created in a record has to be created inside the Salesforce. So let me go ahead and write the method. How to write a method?
Public void method name.
Create account. Are we expecting any parameters here?
No,
Okay. Now let's go ahead and initialize the account. Account A equal to new account.
new account.
For the A dot name, which one are we referring? NM.
NM.
What will happen if I give a small NM here?
Will execute.
It will
It's case
execute it,
insensitive.
but do not do that in the real time. A dot phone
Equal to PH.
A dot fax equal to FX. A dot industry equal to
IND.
now in order to insert what I need to use it here.
Insert a database dot insert.
That's okay. Right now we are not in the loop. We are just in the method. Now where should I need to call this?
In the save action. For the save
Command button. We have a action
action.
equal to
Create account method.
create account method. Now let's go ahead and see. Let's refresh. So let's say account name Amala and the phone number is was the phone number. This is the phone number and fax I do not want it to give, then banking. Let's click on save. What happened here? Field custom validation exception. What is the custom validation exception on the account level? View validation rules. Let's delete this. Okay, let me deactivate it. See here, it is firing the validation rule on the Visualforce page also. Now let's go back. Save. Did it saved or not? It might be saved. Here it is, Amala. Right? So if I give Amala 1, 2, 3, and I'll click on save button, what will happen? I can go to the account and check the recent view. Amala 1, 2, 3 is created. Right?
Yeah.
So is everybody clear how the code is getting executed here?
Yeah, ma'am.
What is happening and how to call it? Everything you are clear, right?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, yesterday I gave one more assignment, which is a calculator. Did anybody try for the calculator one?
I didn't know the logic how to do it, ma'am. So I didn't do that one.
Okay, so in the calculator, the first thing is that we need a numbers. First, design the numbers. You have to design the UI. You need to design the UI because in difficult part is not the business logic. Difficult part is building the UI because inside this you have numbers. So build your UI for 1, 2, 3 for placing it 1, 2, 3. So that is the difficult part. Logic is simple. As soon as you click on this number, you wanted to capture and store it into the one variable. But the problem is, yeah, Dore. So the difficult part is only the designing part here. Inside the designing part, how to place this 1, 2, 3. How to place this 1, 2, 3. What you can do is you can declare first 1, 2, 3 in normal in one line. And then you divide it how you wanted to display. So the difficult part is designing part. It's not a business logic or it's not a logic inside the Apex. Only thing is that you need to do it in the Visualforce page. Right, at least not for the logic, try the calculator format. At least try the design format.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so at least try the design format. If you are able to do the design format, then at least we have achieved, maybe I can say half of the thing. Then I'll explain how to implement the Apex class.
Okay, ma'am. Sure.
Okay. Now coming back to the class, so next topic we are going to move. Now, how many controllers we have? Custom controller and extension controller. Now, in case, for example, now I'll merge these two. Let's say, so in case if I wanted to call another class. Now here inside the Visualforce page, I have a controller. So along with the controller, can I use a standard controller? Can I use standard controller? Is it possible?
No, it's not possible, madam.
Why it is not possible?
With extension, we can, I hope.
So whenever we are doing the custom we are doing on top of the standard itself. Now, when we are doing the custom on top of the standard, we cannot use the custom controller and standard controller cannot exist in the single environment. That is the reason we have another concept called extension. Another concept called extension. Also, there is another reason if you wanted to go with the multiple classes. In case if you wanted to call multiple classes in the same Apex, then you can go ahead and use the extension. So let's assume that I have another class which is going to view the, here we are taking the number. Let me call this. I cannot use it. I cannot use. Now, before this, why I cannot use it here? Because this class is completely different. This class is different. This class is different. Okay. So before this, we have to understand one topic. How can I link the two classes? I have this class. Okay, I have two classes. In order to I use the extension, first of all, these two classes has to link each other. Right? So for that, what we will learn first is the property of OOPS called inheritance. We will first learn the inheritance. Because we have to know the inheritance, then only we can go with the extension controller. So we will learn inheritance. Like in case if I have two classes, now how can I pass the behavior of the parent to the child? This is my parent and this is my child. Now how can I pass the behavior from parent to child? How can I pass the information from parent to child? Using the inheritance, we can do that. So what is the inheritance? Inheritance is nothing but passing of a behavior from parent to child is called inheritance. What type of independence number, what type of inheritance we have? We have a different level of inheritance. One is a single inheritance. And second one is multi-level inheritance. And then the third one is hierarchical inheritance. Fourth, multiple inheritance. Fifth one is hybrid. Hybrid inheritance. Now let's understand what is the inheritance is. When you say passing the behavior from parent to child, what is that means exactly? So let's assume that I have a class A here and class B. Okay. This is the class A. and this is the class B. Now we are going to pass the data from class A to class B. When you, like, if you have some parameters here, or if you have some behavior in class A, okay, so one-to-one connection is called as a single inheritance. One-to-one connection is called as a single inheritance. And the next one is multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance is you have this connection. Okay, again bottom, one more class is there. One more class here. Class B is, we are passing the behavior from parent to child. And again child to grandchild. We are passing the information to the grandchild. So ultimately, from parent to grandchild, it is passing the information. It's like a property. So this is the father and this is the son. Passing the property of the father to the son. Here, father to grandchild. Passing the property of the father to the grandchild. So this is called as a multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. And we have another concept called multiple inheritance. What is the difference between the multi-level and multiple inheritance? Multiple inheritance is you have two classes and one child. Okay, so this is the class 1. Let's say class A, and this is a class B. This is a class C. So what is happening here? Class C is getting the behavior of class A. Behavior of the class A, it is getting the, and also it is getting the behavior of the class C. That means multiple parents are there here. Multiple parents to single child. So both the properties or both the behaviors are coming to the same child. So this is called as a multiple inheritance. When you say multiple inheritance, multiple parent.
What is behavior, madam? Like
What sits in the class? What sits in the class? What the class contains?
class contain variable and methods.
Okay. And what else it will be there?
What? I didn't get you.
What else it will be there?
That class contain two things only, no, variable and methods only.
Variable, methods, and classes will be there. When you say classes, it is a wrapper class. So when you have these two information, if somebody is calling this, let's assume that as you mentioned, only these two are there, variable and method. If somebody is calling this class, what it can pass the information? If another class is calling this class A,
Okay.
so what are the details that it can pass?
Method we call in other class.
So when you say behavior is nothing but whatever the logic that sits in the class, whatever the variable assignment is happening in the class. If I wanted to override or I wanted to call that class A data into the class C, I wanted to extend the class A. There is a class A, it has a implemented with certain logic. but later I wanted to extend, but not in the same class, but I wanted to extend the class because the particular Visualforce page or particular logic, it's required the extension. So in order to extension that, we need to pass entire the class A information to the class C. When I say entire information, it is like how many methods are there, how many parameters each methods are calling it, and how many variables are there. Taking that information, baseline of that, we can extend the existing methods logic.
Okay. Means it's kind of like parent to child inheritance kind.
So that's what
The properties which are there in the parent are coming to the child like.
yeah, that's what I have mentioned. Properties passing to the class A to class B. That's what I have mentioned as an example also.
Okay, okay. Okay, man.
Now, when we say hierarchical inheritance, hierarchical inheritance is we have a one class. We have one class, which is a class A. And there are multiple child classes we have here. Multiple child classes, which is class B, class C, and then class D. And what will happen? We can, the property of the class A, class C can be used, as well as class B also can be used. And next class D also can be used. That means one parent, but we have a multiple child. We have a multiple child. So this is called as a hierarchical inheritance. Any language, you go for any language, this everything will be there. I'm explaining in general. In general, how many hierarchical inheritance will be there? Single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. Now the last one is hybrid model. When we say hybrid model, like I have a class A, class B, class C, anybody can use it. Anybody can use it. Class A can be used for the class B, class B can be used for the class C, and class C can be used it for the class D, and class D can use the class A property. Now here, this is the class A. Okay, class A is the parent, and class B, class C is the child. Now class B and class C are, class A is passing the property to the class B and class C, and these both are passing the property to the class D. So which is a hybrid model. Hybrid inheritance. This is in general, but when we come to the Salesforce use only 3 inheritances are supported. In Salesforce, only single supported, only single inheritance is supported. multi-level is supported, multi-level inheritance is supported, and then hierarchical is supported. Multiple inheritance hybrid model Salesforce does not support it. Because here two parents are calling to the same child object. Is it possible? Like I have two parents and two parents are talking to the child is not possible, right? Like I have a contact and contact talking to the some one component, which is not possible. So multiple, which is a multiple, is junction object. Junction object is a different. Junction object is a different. Okay, junction object is one to many. Sorry, many to many. When we say junction object will have class A to class C, as well as it has the other direction, many to many. It is many to many. But here what is happening? Everything coming from top to bottom. Everything coming as a top to bottom. So do not compare that relationship here. So when we say master, lookup, junction object is many to many relationship. Many accounts, many contacts will be sitting into the one object, right? So that is a many to many relationship that comes, that is a different topic altogether. But coming to the inheritance, Salesforce only supports the single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. Hybrid model and multiple inheritance, it doesn't support. In simple word in Salesforce, in the Salesforce, one child can have only one parent. One child can have only one parent. Class C can have only one parent, class B. Class B can have only one parent, class A. Here, class B has a one parent, class A. Class C has one parent of class A. Class D has a one parent of class A. Anywhere if we see child is connected to the multiple parent, Salesforce does not support. So I'm not talking about relationship here. In relationship, one child can have a two parent max. It's a relationship between the program one. Okay, one child can have only one parent. Right? So whereas one parent can have multiple child, the third in one parent can have multiple child. Right? This is the hierarchical inheritance. And also one parent can have a child can have another child also, which is a grandchild, which is possible with the Salesforce. Here, one parent, one child. Simple, straightforward. This is a grandchild. Here, one parent, multiple child, which is possible in the Salesforce. But coming to the child is connected to the multiple parents, which is not possible. Now, what are the properties of inheritance? Properties of inheritance. Properties of inheritance are, first one, parent should use keyword called virtual. Parent should use the keyword called virtual keyword. Or you can say that our virtual class can only be inherited. And the child class must use extend keyword. Extend keyword. Child class must use the extend keyword. And private method cannot be inherited. Private method, if you are declaring the method access modifier as a public, it works. But in case if you declare a private method, it cannot be inherited. It cannot be inherited. And as well as without access modifier also, we cannot inherit. Without access modifier means what? By default, what it will take?
Public.
Why it will take public?
Then
Will take private.
It will be private. When we do not mention the access modifier, private, it is going to take. So whether we declare a private or without access modifier means by default, it is going to take a private. So whenever we declare the method as a private, we cannot implement the inheritance. We cannot inherit that particular method. And while implementing the inheritance concept in the Apex, we use this dot. We use this dot. Whenever we implement the inheritance inside the Apex class, we use this dot for the class. As well as for the parent, in case if I'm calling something, I'm in the child and I'm calling the parent. So in case if we are calling the parent data, we call it as a super dot. Super is used for parent. Super is used for the parent. Normally for the class, it is going to use for the class. Now let's quickly go ahead and see one example so that you can able to link. Click on this. Let's create a new Apex class CL underscore 0309. And let's say this is an inheritance. Inheritance underscore parent. Okay. I'm creating the parent class. Click on OK. As well as what I'll do is I'll create a child class also. So now I have a parent and child together. Now, inside this is the parent class. Now, the first condition, parent should use the virtual keyword, or virtual class can only be inherited. That means when I say here parent class as a virtual, when I say here virtual, that means this class can be inherited. That means this class can be inherited. That means whenever I say virtual, this class is ready to inherit. This class is ready to inherit it. Now, here, what is the child should have? Child class must use the extend keyword. Must use the extends keyword. Extends. What are we extending? The parent class. The parent class, I'm extending it. Parent class should have a virtual and child class should have a extends keyword. Child class should have a extends keyword, so that whatever we do in the parent, that can be extended, that can be used here. Now let's see, I'm in the parent virtual. Okay, let me declare a variable here. public integer x equal to 20. Now where I'm declaring the x equal to 20, I'm declaring in parent, right? I'm declaring in the parent. Let me save this. Now I'll come to the child class. In the child class, what I'll do is I'll implement a method public void calculate. Now here I'll declare the integer y equal to 50. And I need the result to store in the integer z. Now z equal to, let's say result equal to, what I'll do is x multiply y. System.debug. Will it give an error or not? Will it give the error or not?
No error.
Why it is no error?
The x value. It takes the x value from the parent class.
This is coming from the parent because we are using the behavior of the parent. We are using what are the behavior it's there in the parent. I'm using it here. I'm using it here. In case if I remove extends keyword, what is that means? It is normal apex class. Normal apex class. Then it is going to throw an error saying that you do not have the variable declared x. Variable does not exist. X does not exist. Because this is a simple straightforward class. But right now what we are doing it, we are implementing the inheritance here. We are implementing the inheritance. What kind of a inheritance it is?
Single level.
Single inheritance, because we have only one parent and one child is there. So it is a single inheritance. One parent is passing the information to the child. Here one parent passing the information to the child. We are using the single inheritance. We are using the single inheritance. Now let me go ahead and execute this. What is the output? Should I get it? What is the output?
1000.
Should I get it?
1000.
So this is, let's say, inherit equal to new class name. Inherit dot, what is it? Calc. Now, does it give any error if I try to execute it?
No.
Debug 1000.
1000.
Right? What is happening now? Your voice is breaking. Somebody's voice is breaking. What is happening here? I have a class here. I have a class here, which is a class A, and this is the class B, right? In the class A, I declared the x equal to 20. And here I'm doing the calculation, result equal to x into y. Y is declared here inside the same class. Y is declared y equal to 50. Now what is happening when I say r equal to x? As we have the data that is passed, as soon as I say the virtual here, as soon as I say this is a virtual, as soon as I say this is a virtual and this is the extends. As soon as I say this is the virtual is extend, this everything now combined into the together. This everything combined into the together, and there is a connection which is enabled between these two as an inheritance. I can inherit the data from the parent to child. I can inherit the data from parent to child and I can use it in the child. I can use it into the child. All right. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that's what we have done it here. From third point, we are going to see tomorrow. These 2 points are right now, 2 properties are clear. Right now, inheritance properties, parents should use the virtual keyword, or I can say virtual classes can only be inherited. Child class must use the extends keyword. And in case if you do not write here virtual, what will happen? I do not write the virtual here. This is a simple straightforward class. But here I'm saying it extends. When I say extends, it says that first of all, whatever you are extending the class, it is a non-virtual, non-abstract. You are taking the simple class and you are trying to extend it here. So it is, the system is going to scold us saying that you cannot extend the non-virtual classes. If you want this class to be extended, use here as a virtual keyword. Interview questions. What is inheritance? What are the different type of inheritance? Which all in does Salesforce supports all 5 inheritances, all 5 different inheritance. Why? Give the explanation here. If it is a 3, give the explanation. Okay, let me do this. Why does Salesforce does not support hybrid inheritance? How to implement inheritance Apex class. Next assignment. Implement inheritance class. Implement inheritance class. Parent inside the parent initialize first of all, implement inheritance class for simple interest. Okay, so initialize all the variables inside the parent, child, only the business logic. Should have only the business logic. Initialize all the variables and assign it. Assign the values. Second one, implement inheritance. For phone number calculation for total. Count of given phone number. Starting of the class, whatever we have discussed, the same thing. So initialize all the variables, do not assign it. Okay, initialize all the variables. Child class, assign the variable, assign the values to the parent variable. And implement business logic. Clear? 2 assignments. Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, before I move on admin class, any questions?
Ma'am, could you please send it into the chat? No?
Any other questions? Before I move on, any questions?
No, ma'am.
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So let's go to the admin classes. Let me stop sharing. Sorry, let me stop